Hello everybody, Carol Garrison with Carol's Creative Escape. It's time for another Make It Monday, and again I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join me tonight. I know that everybody's really busy, so I do appreciate that you take a little time out of your week to have a little escape and learn something new, I hope. My name is Carol Garrison with Carol's Creative Escape, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been doing this now for almost 10 years. And the greatest joy I get is sharing this with others and helping people find their creativity. I seem to have a piece of cat hair stuck on my lip here. I put a little glass on right before I went live. I attracted cat hair. Oh well. Anyhow, I am here tonight to share with you a really fun card featuring that fitting florets card set, not card set, but collection of products that includes a stamp set, dies, designer paper, a little bit of bling, and that kind of thing. And I really want to share that with you because this is only available through the end of November as far as the designer series paper goes, and as far as some of the bling and that type of thing. The stamps and dies you'll be able to get out of that mini catalog, but the paper, which is so pretty, is only going to be available till the end of November. So I wanted to make sure I shared this with you tonight, which I should probably clarify. It's November 14th of 2022. And so these products are only available in terms of the designer series paper and the gold adhesive backed swirls are only available through November 30th of 2022. So without further ado, I guess I should touch base like I usually do with my week. We didn't have a terribly exciting week. It was kind of a long week at work in terms of hours I was putting in and that kind of thing. And then Saturday we did yard work. We actually had like 70 degrees, almost 66 degrees I think. And then we dropped down to cool temps. Saturday it was chilly, but I was able to get the lawn mowed one more time, so we got all the leaves and that type of thing cleaned up. And I have to admit, I was wearing a hat and mittens while I was doing that because it was cold, and there may or may not have been a few snowflakes in the air even as I was doing that. And then yesterday was just running some errands and spent some time with my mom and that kind of thing. And John was able to get the lawnmower and stuff winterized, so we are officially done with yard work for 2022 anyhow. It's a good thing we did all that because today we've had about 2 inches of snow, so he's actually going to be out shoveling tonight while I'm doing this. He's going to be out clearing the sidewalk, patio, and driveway. So I guess winter is here for us. It sounds like we're going to have some really cool temps by the end of the week, and chances of snow at least through Wednesday. So that's kind of where we're at. Nothing terribly exciting happening up here. However, tomorrow is a big day because my little Cece is turning a year old. We'll be celebrating her birthday on Saturday. And my oldest is also celebrating a pretty big birthday this week too. His birthday is on Wednesday. So we will be celebrating that this weekend as well. And then I have a friend of mine whose birthday is on Thursday. Happy birthday, Kelly. And I have another aunt whose birthday is going to be on Friday. So the rest of this week is going to be spent celebrating birthdays, I guess. So without further ado, let me go ahead and grab my camera. I'm going to flip things around, so I apologize if we run into just a little bit of bouncing or my hand or the ceiling or the wall or that kind of thing. Just a moment, please. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Well, that's not too bad. Let's see if we can actually get this moved up a little bit so you don't have to see my sweater and stuff in the picture. Ah, there we go. All right, so anyhow, like I said, the card I'm showing you tonight, it is another fun fold, and I think by now you guys know I really do like those fun folds. It looks like my camera might be a little crooked here. Let's try to get that straightened out. Oh, that made it even worse, didn't it? There's always a bit of a lag time from when I start making adjustments to what I see on my screen, so I apologize for that. All right, I think we got it now. So anyhow, we're featuring this fitting florets, and I'm just going to real quick show you the information again just to refresh your memory. These are the die cuts. Oops, that leaf got a little bit bent, and it does cut out this beautiful flower from one of the pieces of designer series paper. What I really like about this is the colors that go with it. This is again going to be in the January to June mini catalog. So we're kind of already thinking spring in that catalog, but the Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, Basic White, Crushed Curry, Blushing Bride, and the Polished Pink. And then it's got these die cuts, and then as well you get these frames and these ovals and this beautiful heart. And I saw somebody that actually took this heart and they made a card where they put the frame inside of it, and so the card then had this border of those hearts. I really like that too, so keep that in mind as well as you're working on this. The suite includes the framed floret stamp set. And so you've got some flower images, some greenery, and then just some nice thank yous, birthdays, special person, friendship type cards or stamps. These are photopolymer, so you're going to be able to easily see what you've got in your stamp or which one you may have misplaced. So that is there. And then it also comes with, like I said, the frame floret dies, and that's this set. But I think showing you the cutouts actually works a little bit better on that. And so this collection, which includes the stamp set, the dies, these gold swirls, and this gorgeous designer series paper, is available for you to order right now through November 30th of 2022. The designer series paper and the gold adhesive swirls are only available for a limited time, and then the suite also includes that framed and festive Christmas holiday greetings, and that too is only available through the end of the month. Limited time while supplies last type thing. The stamps and the dies will be available in that new mini catalog, which actually just went live today for demonstrators, and I haven't even had time to look at it yet. So tonight, that is what I'm going to be doing. So the card that I'm going to show you today is this fun fold. And here I've used I haven't used this paper actually in quite a while, but it's the Pretty Prince. And I'm using the Blackberry Bliss color. And it's just a fun fold with a belly band on it. I've grabbed this greeting out of the stamp set that goes with this collection of products. So it's this stamp here. And I just embossed it. And I did get the color of the embossing by stamping it first with the Blackberry Bliss, using my Stamparatus. Clean my stamp off and then stamp that with the my Versamark. And because I used my Stamparatus, I was able to get it right on top of that, and then just clear embossing powder. So that's the very simple decoration that I used. I think this paper speaks for itself. And then this card opens up, so the fold is actually on the right side and not on the left side. So you pull it open this way, and I've added some designer series paper to decorate that, and then used a couple more stamps from the framed florets product, and I've got a pretty little birthday card that I can send off to somebody. So this is the card that we're going to make today, and I'm going to show you how to do this. I am using Polished Pink as my primary card, And so for measurements on this, what you need to do is, it's a little bit larger than normal. So it's 5.5 by 11 inches that you're going to be measuring out on this card. And then you're going to score it at 1 1/4 inches, 5.5 inches, and then 9 1/4 inches. And then you need a piece of just your basic white or very vanilla cardstock for the inside of the card, or a light colored piece of cardstock that you can write on and your writing will show. And then you need a piece of the designer series paper that's part of this collection of products. And again, that designer series paper is called the Fitting Florets. And I have one piece that I have cut 1 by 5, 1.5 by 5 1/4. And then I have two pieces that I cut 1 by 5 1/4. And then I also have a piece of cardstock that measures 1 inch by 9 3/4 inches, and this is going to form my belly band. And then I have cut some scraps, or cut out with some card scraps that I had, the frame, a piece of vellum that I'm adhering to the oval that came out of this frame. And then I went ahead and die cut a couple of the floral pieces out of the designer series paper, along with a piece of floral imaging that I fussy cut as well. So those are the pieces that we're going to need for this card. This is one where you do want to have your bone folder so that you're burnishing in some good creases on your card. And again, because it folds on the right side instead of the left side, it's a little bit different from that perspective. I learned about this fold from Jackie Bolheis. She is a very talented Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so, like I said, I just want to make sure I've got some good creases in my card. And so you're doing a valley, mountain for your folds. So by valley, I mean it's pointed down and then up like a mountain here. All right, so that is our basic fold on this card. We are going to take our designer series paper. All right, and you guys know I just had all of my paper, right? And somehow, some way, I seem to have misplaced one piece, but here it is. It was just under another piece of paper. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our adhesive. And I'm going to take these strips, and remember with the seal adhesive, oh, I'm out. That didn't go so well. You're going to just do a light touch. Hopefully I can get through and get this card made. Otherwise I'll have to take time out to refill. We're just going to center this piece on this flap. And you can use the same strip, a coordinating strip. I'm going to go ahead and use a coordinating strip. Or I mean the same strip. And put it on the front and the back of that 1 1/4 inch fold. And that way when it opens up, you've got some decoration on the inside of your card too. And then on this flap, I'm going to go ahead and use this piece of cardstock. And I'm not going to get any further with this one. All right. So let me do a quick switch out here. Fortunately, these are quick and easy to change. It usually just takes me a minute to figure out exactly which way I have to have everything lined up. But this time it worked perfectly. All right. Get that one going. So again, a light touch. Kind of make the check mark, and it tends to keep running then without getting too gummy on the adhesive dispenser. So we're just going to put this piece right, oh, that didn't go on very straight. Hopefully I can get it off enough that I can straighten it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add a little adhesive to that corner, and we're good to go. So that's my cardstock on the front. Now on the original sample that I showed you, I did put an extra piece of designer series paper right here. And if that's something that you want to do, depending on your papers that you're using and stuff, this piece measures 3.5 by 5.25 inches. So I chose not to do that this time because I'm kind of decorating my belly band a little bit more than what I did with that first card. So let me show you real quick how I do the belly band. When I'm working my belly bands, I do like to use a little bit of the tear and tape, oops, on my cards. And the reason for that is I just think it gives a better seal for that, because it gets moved around a lot on the card, and so I like to have a better closure mechanism on that. And then the other thing that I do is I never put score lines on this piece of paper. That way I can fold it to fit exactly. You want to have it be snug but not too snug. So I just make sure I've got the papers perpendicular, and then I kind of want this closure to actually be towards the center of the belly band. And this is going to be the front of my belly band. And the reason for that is I can cover up the seam, get it straighter. I can cover up the seam with whatever I'm putting on the front of my card, and then that way on the back of my card I also have a nice looking belly band in the back with no seam showing. So that's just a little trick. Alright, so I'm going to slide that off, and you want to make sure this is snug so it holds the card closed, but you don't want it falling off if the card is being shaken or something like that. So then I am going to take, and I already did this so it could start drying. I've got a piece of vellum that is covering up the circle that came out of here, or the oval that came out of my frame. And I went ahead and put the glue here so I'd have it adhere really well, knowing that how I decorate this, that glue is not going to show. And to get started, I'm simply going to run a piece of seal right across here and attach my frame. And I just need to make sure that that adhesive is in the lower left corner, because that is where my decoration is going to go. Alright, a piece of glue right there. Stuff was sticking to it. And then I'm just going to use these to decorate my frame. And you can tell right now that that glue is going to be covered, so I don't even need to worry about it. So I'm just going to run another piece of seal. I'm not going to pop these flowers up, mostly because this card is already going to be thick enough that I don't want to run into any issues mailing it. And so I very carefully put my glue adhesive down just where I knew I could cover it up with my design, and then I've only put adhesive on this part of this floral image, which I fussy cut. And the reason for that is this part is exposed and I don't want any adhesive sticking out and sticking anywhere else on the card. Alright, and then I am going to add some additional floral images. How did I do? I had my colors laid out just so. Now I don't remember for sure when I was practicing this. Yep, like that. And so I'm just going to put adhesive on this part of this die cut. Again, for the same reason, I don't want adhesive sticking off outside of my frame. And I've got just a little bit doing that, so I'm going to grab my adhesive eraser and try to get rid of as much of that as I can. Okay, And so that's the frame and the decor for the front of my card with the belly band. You know what? Shoot. I'm very grateful that I was attaching this to vellum, because you know what I forgot to put on is the frame. So I'm going to carefully set those two pieces aside. Remember this beautiful frame that I had? Ay, ay, ay. On this one, I am going to take just a little bit of glue, and I'm going to run it right next to the oval. And the reason for that is that's the only place this frame is going to be attached. So we'll go right next to the oval, because this is an outline of the interior pieces. And so we'll do our best here to line it up. I got a little bit of glue on my vellum paper, but that isn't going to matter because I'm going to be putting stuff, as we now know, right on top of it. So I'm going to add just a titch more adhesive since I already pulled it off once. And we'll put it back here. And again, just making sure that I'm not getting any adhesive on the part that isn't attached to the frame. I'm going to run just a little bit here. And that'll allow me to attach this here. And that's all I'm doing now for the front of my frame. So I'm just going to leave it, no sentiments, no anything like that. I'm going to let it speak for itself. And then on the inside of this card, I am going to be stamping it with a sentiment, the thank you with all my heart, using polished pink. This is one of my favorite colors of pink that has come out. You know, every 2 years Stampin' Up! Comes out with these in colors, and this is the last year for this in color. And I'm really hoping that at some point it comes back as a regular color, because I think it is just a gorgeous shade of pink. I used to, Melon Mambo used to be my favorite pink, and as soon as this one came out, I fell in love with this one, and don't use Melon Mambo quite as much as I used to. Alright, so just thank you with all my heart. That's the sentiment on the inside of the card. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive to this piece of cardstock. All right. And then, you know, I've got this little flower left here. And so I think I'm just going to use it because I've got it cut. And we'll just decorate this inside panel a little bit with it as well. All right, so that is my card for tonight. I almost wonder what would happen. In hindsight, I should have probably put my floral on the other side of this so that it covered up this piece of it. So learn from my lesson here and make sure that when you make this card, you kind of look at your layout as you're decorating it. I'm now going to fix this because it'll probably drive me nuts if I leave it like this, so that I am putting some of my floral here to add decor here, because it gets kind of lost right on this part. I don't know how easily I can do this, but we're going to find out. Simple thing would be to flip my card around, but I don't think I can easily do that either. One thing that's helping me is, once again, because I used vellum, it is easy to peel it off of that, but also with this liquid glue. The other thing that happens is, oh look at, you know what, I pulled off the vellum even. So I am going to, do I want to do that? Because if I flip it, now I'm going to have glue showing. Alright, I'm just going to leave it as it is. My next card, I'll make it the right way. Do you ever sometimes look at stuff and overthink? This would be an example of me overthinking today. So let's go ahead and get our vellum lined up again. And then we'll get our frame lined up. Alright. So just keep that in mind. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So now I've got everything off. Oh, I should have just left it alone. Alright, I'm going to fix this and I'll post a picture of the fixed card because that's going to drive me bonkers. Here's my card with everything off to one side, but if we flip it around, which is what I should have done, then I've got the frame design on the plain part of my cardstock, and it also allows this part to still stand out and speak for itself. Does that make sense? But because we've got writing and this card opens up this way, I can't just flip it around and say, okay, we're going to go like this now. I've got to fix this whole piece, which I'll do. It's not a problem. And I will post a picture of that completed card down in, at the end of the video so that you can see that. Alright, you guys, this is live, and this is what happens sometimes when it's live. So let's real quick go out and grab another piece of cardstock. I think I have a scrap that I can... Nope, I don't. Alright. So to make that belly band, all I need to do is cut a piece of 1-inch cardstock and go out to 9 3/4 inches, like so. And then I'm going to take a scrap of cardstock that is about, and this is not a scrap, I know, I'm having to create it because I know I don't have any scrap that big. And I'm going to take, I'll show you how easy this is to do. I'm going to take this frame and run it through my little mini cut and emboss machine. I'll put that down. I'll get my second cutting plate. Sometimes I find in order to get stuff started, I need to really stagger the plates a little bit. And so alright, my staggering isn't working today. That's because my paper's getting caught up there. Alright, we're going to go off camera for this for a minute, because you don't need to see all the shaking either. Isn't live a wonderful thing? So for all you beginner stampers that think we just work our way through all these things with no issues, take heart and know that that is not the case. Even with lots of practice, we still run into some bumps. So what I'm doing on this is I'm staggering my plates a little bit, and that way I can get it pushed through on my die cut machine. it doesn't always want to just go through with all the pieces. Oh, I'm really having problems with this tonight. This is not a machine issue. This is a Carol issue. I want to stress that. I don't know why I'm having issues like this. I don't normally if I stagger my plates. So I'm going to get it lined up. There. Sorry about that. Okay. Now I've got those two pieces, and I am going to cut a new piece of vellum as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got glue now on the wrong side of my vellum. I'm sorry that this is such a hot mess tonight. Wow. You know, sometimes going live is an intimidating thing, and it can be a little frustrating when stuff like this happens, but I'm going to just keep plowing through here because I want to show you what it's going to look like all done. Alright, so because I'm putting my design on this side, I want to put my glue to attach my vellum on that side. And you can tell it's not very much adhesive. And then I'll just move it around until I have it lined up on the oval. Alright, and then here I am going to pull off my flowers because I know I'm going to be able to reuse them. And I don't want to take time to re-fussy cut another set of flowers, at least as part of this live. You guys have already been patient sticking around this long. Okay, and then the only other thing that I need to do is form my belly band real quick. And again, that I do simply by folding it like so and bringing this piece over on the top. Like that. And then this piece I will run my tear and tape like this, because that just needs to hold on the center of the oval. And when I attach this, I just want to make sure I've got it centered and that my glue is on this corner, because that's where I want all of the activity to occur. And then we're going to put a little bit of adhesive just to either side here, following that curve. And I'm going to adhere my frame and get it placed nicely around the oval, like so. Alright, and now, once again, we're going to add a little bit more adhesive to our floral images, which we'll put one here. And I am going to slide it off just so that I don't risk getting any glue, but that's good. And then we'll take this piece and add just a little bit more adhesive. And we're going to pop this up here just to kind of finish the wreathing around our picture frame. Ta-da! Whew. And then to finish this card off, I am going to use some of these pretty gold swirls. Assuming that I'm able to get the package open tonight. All right. And then we'll grab our take your pick tool. And I'm going to just slide a couple of these off. And there we go. Now the card is finished. Wow. Some days go better than others, don't they? So here is my fabulous fun fold completed and looking the way I want it to look, with my accent pieces on the right of my frame, using some of those fun gold swirls, and then opening it up and you can see the Fun Designer Series paper, the thank you sentiment on the inside, and we'll pop the belly band back on and we've got a great birthday card, or a thank you card here. And then again, this is the other card that I made with the Blackberry Bliss and the Pretty Prints Designer Series paper. So in this one, I let the paper do the decorating. On this one, I accented it with some pieces from the die set. Thank you for sticking with me. I apologize for being a little bit of a mess here as I was assembling this card, but you get the picture, and I hope you see why I felt it was necessary to fix it too. Thanks, Anne. I appreciate it. So here are the two cards. Again, the measurements for this card is 5.5 by 11, so that's wider than normal. And then you score that piece at 1 1/4, 5.5, and 9 1/4. You need another piece of cardstock that is 1 inch by 9 3/4. That is the belly band. Your Designer Series paper, you need 2 panels that measure 1 by 5 1/4. That's to do the outside and inside of the flap. And then another one that measures 1.5 by 5 1/4. And then the inside of your card, that piece is the standard 4 by 5 1/4. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great night. I will see you all live again next week. Bye-bye.